Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Public Service Commission of South Carolina. We're here in dockets number 2021-89E and 2021-9DE. Let's take roll. Present in the hearing room, we have Commissioners Powers, Williams, Vice Chair Belzer, and Chairman Williams. Joining us virtually, we have Commissioner Irvin and Commissioner Caston, and I forgot about Commissioner Thomas that is also here with us in the hearing room. All right. Applicant, please call your next witness.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes the company's case. There are just Mr. Snyder and Mr. Johnson.
All right, thank you, sir. And I'm just going to go down the list. Johnson Development Associates, do you have any witnesses?
Mr. Chairman, this is Court Walsh for Johnson Development. We don't have any witnesses.
Thank you, sir. Carolina's Clean Energy Business Association, do you have any witnesses?
Mr. Chairman, members of the council, no witnesses.
South Carolina Department of Consumer Affairs, do you have any witnesses?
We do not. Thank you.
South Carolina Coastal Conservation League and Southern Alliance for Clean Energy, do you have any witnesses?
Mr. Chairman, this is Kay Mixon. We don't have any witnesses.
All right, ma'am. Office of Regulatory Staff, please call your first witness.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Ben Muschin, and I would call Ms. Gretchen Poole to the stand.
And Attorney Muschin, is Ms. Poole in South Carolina?
Yes, sir. She is here.
All right, so the court reporter may swear Ms. Poole in. Ms. Poole, if you would take the stand and pause to be sworn in by our court reporter.
Do you solemnly affirm
Mr. Chairman,
to tell
I don't
the
believe
truth?
we can hear.
Do you solemnly affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Poole, could you please state your name for the record?
Yes, my name is Gretchen C. Poole.
Okay. Ms. Poole, where are you employed and in what capacity?
I'm employed by the South Carolina Office of Regulatory Staff as a regulatory analyst.
Okay. Ms. Poole, is this your first time testifying before the commission, or have you had the opportunity to do so before?
This is my first time testifying before the commission, yeah.
All right. Ms. Poole, did you have the occasion to prepare 7 pages of pre-filed direct testimony in this matter?
Yes, I did.
And do you have any changes, edits, or corrections to that direct testimony?
No.
And if I were to ask you those same questions today, would your answers be the same?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, ORS would ask that the pre-filed direct testimony of Ms. Poole be read into the record as if given orally from the stand.
The pre-filed direct testimony of Ms. Poole will be entered into the record as if given orally from the stand.
Ms. Poole, did you prepare a summary of your direct testimony?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and could you present that at this time?
Sure. Good afternoon, Chairman Williams and members of the commission. It's my pleasure to appear before you for the first time this afternoon. ORS retained one expert witness for this docket, Brian Orey of E3. ORS supports the recommendations put forth by witness Orey to adopt DEC and DEP avoided energy cost rates as proposed for standard offer and PPA contracts, adopt capacity costs proposed by ORS for DEC to reflect the most up-to-date analysis of the DEC generation capacity need, and adopt DEP's capacity costs with no objection, to exclude transmission and distribution costs at this time, and to maintain the current solar integration costs as approved by this commission in order number 2019-881A at this time. ORS finds the company's avoided costs to be accurately calculated and consistent with PURPA, FERC's implementing regulations and orders approved previously by this commission. The company's avoided costs are also non-discriminatory to QFs and serve to reduce the risk placed on the using and consuming public. Subsequent to the filing of my direct testimony, the parties or the companies, ORS, CCEBA, SACE, and CCL, entered into a stipulation whereby the recommendations made by ORS were adopted. This concludes the summary of my direct testimony.
Thank you, Ms. Poole. Let me ask you, are you aware that the commission has retained a consultant in this proceeding?
Yes.
And are you aware that the consultant will be issuing a report on August 23rd?
Yes,
Okay, and with that understanding, do you reserve the right to supplement your testimony subject to your review of the report to be filed by the consultant?
yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Poole is available for questions from the commission.
Commissioner questions for Ms. Poole. Vice Chair Belzer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, Ms. Poole.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the Public Service Commission.
Thank you.
Ms. Poole, did you have any role with the review conducted by upcoming witness Ori?
Yes, ma'am. That was performed under my supervision and alongside other members here at the ORS.
Okay, but did you have any role in preparing the analysis that he's going to be
No, ma'am.
sponsoring? Okay.
No, ma'am.
You served as a liaison between ORS
Yes,
and Mr. Ori?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, that's all I
welcome.
have.
Commissioner questions for Ms. Poole. Ms. Poole, I heard you say that the stipulation helps reduce the risk to ratepayers. Could you talk about the specifics of that? Or would Mr. Ori be a
Sure.
better witness to ask that question to?
I can touch on that, but he would probably be best able to answer that question. ORS found that the proposed avoided costs that were set forth to be accurately calculated using methodology previously approved by the commission, and it reasonably pays QFs a rate that's not too much, not too little, and it also holds the using and consuming public harmless so that they're not overpaying.
Thank you, ma'am. Any more questions for Ms. Poole?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Urban.
thank you. Ms. Poole, you've
Hello.
done a great job for your first time before the commission. It's good to have you with us
Thank
this
you.
afternoon.
Thank you.
Would you be willing to testify as to the reasonableness of the avoided costs that are being recommended for adoption by the commission?
Yes, sir. We found that they were reasonable and calculated within PURPA and Act 62, as well as previous orders of this commission.
Is it your opinion that they comply with PURPA and the previous
Yes.
orders of the commission?
Yes, sir.
All right. And are they indifferent to ratepayers? Do you know what I mean by that?
Yes, sir. Again, they ensure that the QFs are paid at a reasonable price, not too much, not too little, and that the customers are not overpaying.
Thank you. No further questions.
Thank you.
Any more questions for Ms. Poole? Any redirect for Ms. Poole? All right, Ms.
No,
Poole.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, I'm sorry, Attorney Mustard.
Sorry, no redirect.
All right, Ms. Poole. Ms. Poole, you may step down.
Thank you.
Attorney Mustard, please call your next witness.
All right, Mr. Chairman, at this time, we will call Mr. Brian Ori.
Mr. Ori, if you would please take the stand. Attorney Mustard, is Mr. Ori in South Carolina or some other state?
Mr. Ori is in another state.
Okay. Mr. Ori, if you would take the stand, I'm going to swear you in, sir. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, sir?
Yes, I do.
All right, please proceed.
All right. Mr. Ori, could you please state your name, occupation, and business address for the record?
My name is Brian Horry. I'm a senior partner at Energy and Environmental Economics, Inc. My business address is 44 Montgomery Street, San Francisco, California.
Mr. Ori, I'm sorry to interrupt, Attorney Mustard. Mr. Ori,
Sorry.
we're having trouble hearing you in the hearing room. Maybe if you get a little closer to your microphone, it would help out.
Okay, is this better?
It's a little better, but you still sound like you're far away.
Okay, I will try my best to project.
All right.
Mr. Horry, what is the purpose of your testimony here today?
I've been retained by ORS to assist in reviewing the avoided cost methodology, calculations, and avoided cost-based tariffs proposed by DEC and DEP.
And are you the same Brian Horry that pre-filed 18 pages of direct testimony with the commission on June 11th, 2021?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And do you have any changes, edits, or corrections to that pre-filed direct testimony?
No.
Okay. If I were to ask you those same questions today, would your answers be the same?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I would ask that the pre-filed direct testimony of Mr. Horry be read into the record as if given orally from the stand.
The pre-filed direct testimony of Mr. Horry will be entered into the record as if given from the stand.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Horry, did you also cause to be prepared 4 exhibits marked as BKH1 through BKH4?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And do you have any changes, edits, or corrections to those exhibits?
No, I do not.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I would ask that Mr. Horry's exhibits BKH1 through 4 be admitted into the record of this case as the next hearing exhibit.
BKH exhibits 1 through 4 will be marked as a composite exhibit and entered into the record as hearing exhibit 6.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Horry, did you prepare a summary of your direct testimony?
Yes, I did.
Okay, please present that at this time.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the Commission. In my engagement in this docket for ORS, I reviewed the methodologies and calculations for the avoided cost components used for the avoided cost-based tariffs. These avoided cost components are of 3 types. 1, energy avoided costs. 2, generation capacity avoided costs. And 3, solar integration costs. For energy avoided costs, I find that Duke's estimates for both DEC and DEP are reasonable and recommend their adoption. For generation capacity avoided costs, I find that the company's estimates of total capacity costs for DEC and DEP are reasonable, but I recommend that for DEC, only 5% of the capacity costs be allocated to the summer, as opposed to DEC's proposed 11%. I make this recommendation to incorporate DEC's latest evaluation of when it needs capacity. For the solar integration service charge, I agree with Duke's recommendation to hold the SISC at current levels, since the independent technical review of SISC costs has not yet been completed. After my direct testimony was submitted, ORS joined DEC, DEP, CCEBA, and the environmental parties in the stipulation agreement filed on July 23rd, 2021. My recommended change to the DEC generation capacity summer allocation is incorporated into that stipulation.
Thank you, Mr. Horry. Are you aware that the commission has retained a consultant in this proceeding?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and are you aware that the consultant will be issuing a report on August 23rd?
Yes.
Okay, and with that understanding, do you reserve the right to supplement your testimony subject to your review of the report to be filed by the consultant?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Horry is available for questions from the commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Questions for Mr. Horry? Mr. Horry, I have one question for you.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
It's my understanding that you believe the stipulation reduces the risk to ratepayers for overpayment. Is that right?
Yes, I believe that the stipulation provides an accurate estimate of avoided costs, and therefore will be sort of an accurate, unbiased compensation for QFs.
All right. No further questions from me, Mr. Horry. Any other questions from Mr. Horry before we let him go? All right, I'm sorry. Any redirect from Mr. Horry?
No, Mr. Chairman, no redirect. I do have one procedural question when at the appropriate time, though.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, it's my understanding and recollection that when the commission ruled on the Duke motion related to attorneys being able to speak with their witnesses under oath, that the commission denied that request. However, it's my recollection, and if I'm wrong, please correct me, that the commission would release those witnesses from their oath such that attorneys could interact with their witnesses. Given that, Mr. Ori and Ms. Poole will be assisting ORS in reviewing the consultant's report once it is issued. I just wanted to clarify and to make sure I understood that we would be able to communicate with Ms. Poole and Mr. Ori during this break.
Thank you for asking, Attorney Mustin. Your understanding is correct. All witnesses are released.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And with that, that is all ORS has in its case.
All right, thank you, sir. If there's nothing else, we're in recess until September 16th. All right, thank you.
Thank you.